It was supposed to be an ordinary morning. Rain fell gently on the glass walls of Nova District Café, one of those clean, quiet places in the upper ring of the city. The kind of place where tired engineers and traders came for caffeine and silence before another long day. Ethan Cole, 28, human and exhausted, stepped inside with one simple goal coffee. He rubbed his eyes, mumbling, 1 cup. Just 1 cup, and maybe I can survive the week. The air smelled of roasted beans and ozone, the faint metallic scent of the city's high-tech filters. Music played softly from an old Earth station, something nostalgic from centuries ago. Everything felt normal. Until he reached the counter, the barista turned toward him, and for a moment, the world slowed. She wasn't like anyone he'd seen before. Her eyes were pale gold, not brown or green, and when the light hit them, they shimmered faintly, as if they held a star inside. Her name tag read simply, Lyra. "Good morning," she said, voice calm, but somehow melodic. "The usual?" Ethan blinked. "Do I know you?" A faint smile touched her lips. "Not yet." He hesitated, a little confused. Black coffee." "No sugar." She nodded, turning to prepare it. The motion of her hands was too graceful for a simple worker like every movement was measured, practiced, almost ceremonial. Steam hissed. The scent of freshly ground beans filled the air. He relaxed a little. When she placed the cup on the counter, he noticed something else. Her hands trembled slightly. Then, as if by accident, she slid something small beside the cup. A silver ring dot. It wasn't jewelry from Earth. It was engraved with symbols that shimmered faintly when touched by light. He frowned. "What's this?" Her golden eyes met his. "Your destiny." He half laughed. "Yeah, right? Look, I just came for coffee." But she didn't laugh. "Take it, Ethan." He froze. "How do you know my name?" She leaned closer and whispered, "Because I've been waiting for you for 12 years. For a moment, he thought she was joking. Then the cafe lights flickered. Every screen around them glitched, showing static. Outside, thunder rolled through a perfectly clear sky. The customers nearby looked up, confused. "What's happening?" He said, "Time," she murmured. "It's catching up." He looked around. "Okay, this is weird. Who are you really?" Her voice softened. "Someone who failed her duty once. I won't fail again." Before he could speak, the door burst open. 2 men in dark uniforms entered security officers. But their movements were too sharp, their eyes glowing faintly blue. Not human. Synthetic. Lyra's expression hardened. "They found us? Found us?" Ethan whispered. "What are you talking about?" She grabbed his hand and pressed the ring into his palm. "Put it on." "I'm not. Now." She shouted dot. He slid it on. Instantly, his vision filled with light. The cafe around him blurred. Symbols raced across his mind, alien, ancient, impossible to read. When the light faded, the world looked different, every sound sharper, every color deeper. The synthetics raised their weapons. Target acquired. Royal code signature confirmed. Royal what? Ethan gasped. Lyra stepped in front of him. Her voice dropped lower, steady but deadly calm. "He's under my protection." The synthetics fired. Light burst from their guns, but she moved faster than sight. In one motion, she raised her hand. The air shimmered. The blasts vanished mid-air, dissolving like smoke. The smell of ozone burned his nose. Ethan stared at her. "You're not human." "No," she said softly. "Not anymore." She lifted her other hand, tracing a symbol in the air. The cafe windows shattered outward. "We have to go." He stumbled after her, heart pounding. Rain hit his face as they ran into the street. Alarms echoed behind them. The city lights seemed brighter, faster, alive. What is happening? He shouted over the wind. The ring woke up, she said. And now everyone who wants the throne knows you're alive. He stopped running. Throne? I'm not royalty. I'm a mechanic. She turned to him, eyes burning gold. Not in this world, Ethan, but in mine, you're heir to the lost crown of Aurelia. He stared at her in disbelief. You expect me to believe that? Believe it or not, she said, they'll still come. And if you die before the coronation, so will every world connected to this one. He felt the weight of the ring pulse against his skin, warm and alive. Why me? Because your blood carries what mine can't, she said. Hope. Before he could reply, a beam of blue light streaked down from the clouds, striking the street beside them. Shock waves threw them backward. Smoke filled the air, and from within that smoke, a dark figure stepped out tall, armored, eyes burning red. Found you, the figure said. His voice was smooth and cruel. The lost heir, and the traitor guardian. Lyra pushed Ethan behind her. Run. He hesitated. I'm not leaving you. Then don't fall behind, she said, and with one gesture, the ground beneath them split open. They dropped into darkness together as the city above exploded in light. The fall felt endless. Ethan Cole's scream vanished in the wind as darkness swallowed him. Then impact. He hit metal flooring hard enough to knock the air from his lungs. Somewhere nearby, alarms beeped in a slow, broken rhythm. Above them, faint light glowed through the hole they'd fallen from. The city roared far above sirens, engines, chaos. Lyra landed beside him without a sound. Not even dust clung to her coat. She straightened, glowing eyes scanning the tunnel. We're safe for now. Ethan groaned, sitting up. Define safe. We just fell through the street. She touched a nearby wall, and hidden symbols lit up beneath her fingers lines of gold running down the corridor. We're inside an old transit artery. Human engineers built it over Aurelian foundations. They never knew. He blinked. You're saying this whole city's built on alien ruins? She smiled faintly. Not alien, forgotten. He pulled off his jacket, brushing dust away. Okay, listen, none of this makes sense. You said I'm some kind of royal heir. That ring nearly melted my brain. And now I'm hiding in tunnels with a barista who stops bullets mid-air. Her expression softened. I'm not a barista. That was only a disguise, I figured. He rubbed his temples. So what are you? Lyra hesitated before answering. A guardian, sworn to protect the royal bloodline of Aurelia, even when it hides in mortal form. He stared at her. You're serious? I don't joke. Her tone was calm, but he caught the sadness underneath. When our world fell, the crown ordered the last heir hidden among humans. You were placed in stasis, your memories rewritten, your powers sealed. I was sent to watch over you until the ring awakened. And now that it's awake, now everyone who wants the throne will try to kill you. He gave a short laugh. Fantastic. I can barely pay rent. Guess being royalty comes with worse problems. She almost smiled. Humor again. Humans never lose it, even at the end. Ethan turned the ring on his finger. It shimmered faintly, symbols shifting like water. Why does it feel alive? Because it is, she said. It carries the code of kings, half flesh, half light. It binds to your heartbeat, your thoughts, your choices. The ring doesn't choose a perfect heir. It chooses a human one. He looked up. Meaning? Meaning it saw something inside you worth saving. Before he could answer, the tunnel lights flickered. A metallic hum grew from the shadows ahead. Lyra's posture stiffened. They've tracked us already? They smell the code, she said. Stay behind me. Figures emerged from the dark, sleek machines, shaped like men, eyes glowing red. Synthetic hunters. Lyra raised her hand. Stand down. He carries royal blood. The lead hunter's voice hissed like static. And he belongs to the regime. They lunged. Lyra met them halfway, faster than sight. Energy blades flashed in her hands, thin streams of light that cut through metal like paper. Sparks filled the corridor. Ethan ducked behind a broken console, heart hammering. She moved like a storm, each motion silent, precise, almost graceful. Then one of the machines broke through, tackling her to the ground. Ethan didn't think. He grabbed a fallen weapon and fired. The pulse hit the hunter square in the chest. It exploded into shards. The sound echoed until only his breathing remained. Lyra looked at him from the floor, surprise flickering in her eyes. You've done this before. He swallowed hard. I was in the Terran Wars. Maintenance crew. Fixed guns more than I fired them. War leaves its mark, she said, standing. Maybe that's why the ring chose you. He frowned. Don't start with the destiny talk again. She looked down the tunnel, listening. We need to move. They walked in silence for a while, the gold markings on the walls lighting their path. When they finally reached a wide chamber, she stopped. This is it, the sanctuary. The room opened into an underground hall, filled with glowing vines and crystalline columns. In the center stood a pool of still water, reflecting light like glass. Symbols spiraled across its surface. Lyra knelt beside it. The Aurelian Memory Archive. It will show you who you are. Ethan shook his head. I've had enough revelations for one day. You'll need it to survive, she said quietly. Touch the water. He hesitated, then reached out. The instant his fingers brushed the surface, visions flooded his mind, flashes of cities floating above golden clouds, a crown of light resting on his own head, armies kneeling. And beside him, Lyra, dressed not as a barista, but as a warrior, standing guard. He gasped and pulled back. That was me? She nodded. Your first life. I don't want this, he said. I never asked for any throne. No one ever does, she replied. But destiny doesn't wait for permission. The water rippled again, showing a new image, an army of shadows, gathering beyond the stars, led by a figure in black armor with burning red eyes. Lyra's expression darkened. The Regent, she whispered. He's already moving. Who is he? The usurper. The one who destroyed our world. If he learns the ring has awakened, he will burn this planet to ashes. Ethan looked at her. Then we stop him. She met his gaze. We, not I? You said I'm part of this now. Might as well act like it. For the first time, she smiled, small, genuine, and tired. Then I will swear the oath again. She knelt before him, head bowed. By the light of Aurelia and the blood of kings, I vow to guard you, even beyond death. Ethan didn't know what to say. You don't have to kneel to me. Her eyes lifted, bright as dawn. It's not to you, Ethan. It's to what you'll become. The water pulsed once more, the symbol of the ring glowing brighter in answer. In that quiet, both of them knew the true war had just begun. When Ethan Cole woke, the glow of the underground pool had faded. The memory of golden cities and crowns still pulsed behind his eyes like an afterimage. The air was colder now. Lyra stood near the tunnel entrance, scanning the shadows with the focus of someone who had spent lifetimes guarding ghosts. How long was I out? He asked. 6 hours, she said quietly. The visions take their toll. You touched centuries in a heartbeat. He rubbed his temples. I saw people kneeling. I saw you there. And I felt, he paused, searching for words, like it wasn't a dream. Like I'd been here before. She nodded. Because you have. Every air carries fragments of the last rain. The ring awakens them piece by piece. He looked down at it. The silver band gleamed faintly, symbols shifting like liquid fire. Feels like it's watching me. It is, she said. It watches to see what kind of king you'll become. He sighed. Still can't get over that word. I fix broken drones for a living. I'm not built for crowns. Her lips curved faintly. Maybe that's why you were chosen? Aurelia doesn't need another ruler. It needs a restorer. Before he could answer, a distant boom rattled the walls. Dust drifted from the ceiling. That didn't sound friendly, he said. Lyra's eyes flared gold. They've breached the surface. Who? The Terran security forces and the Regent's spies among them. They'll erase anything connected to the ring. She moved to a hidden panel and pressed her palm against it. The wall split open, revealing an ancient lift shaft. We have to reach the city before they seal it off. Ethan hesitated. Up there? Everyone's probably looking for us. Then we hide in plain sight, she said, where the fallen kings once lived, the shattered district. They ascended in silence. The elevator rose through layers of forgotten steel and stone until the door opened into twilight. The city above had changed. Buildings leaned at strange angles. Shattered glass glimmered like ice. Holograms flickered over empty streets. It looked more like a graveyard than a metropolis. This used to be the royal quarter of Nova, Lyra said, built over the first Aurelian landing site. After the fall, humans rebuilt without knowing what slept beneath. Ethan gazed around. So, I've been living on the ruins of my own kingdom. Poetic, she said softly. And dangerous. They moved through narrow alleys, avoiding drones that swept the skies. Lyra's cloak shimmered, bending light around them. Cloaking field, she explained. Short range. Stay close. Ethan tried not to think about how close meant. Her presence radiated calm and quiet power. The bond between them thrummed like a second heartbeat. He wasn't sure if it was magic, technology, or something in between. Got at the edge of the district stood a fallen statue half buried, its crown broken. Ethan stopped. The face was his. Lyra, he whispered. That's me. She stepped beside him. The last human king of Aurelia. The one who united light and flesh. But you said he betrayed you. Her voice wavered. He did, but before that, he saved us. They stood there in silence until footsteps echoed behind them. Lyra spun, hand glowing. A tall man emerged from the mist, wearing a hood and a military jacket. He raised his hands slowly. Easy, I'm not here to fight. Ethan recognized the insignia Terran intelligence. Who are you? Agent Darius Holt, the man said. I've been tracking anomalies around you since the café incident. The government wants the ring. I don't. Lyra narrowed her eyes. You lie. No, Darius said. I want to end the Regent as much as you do. He's infiltrated every human command. Your war's about to become ours. Ethan stepped forward. You're saying humans are helping this? Regent? Not helping, Darius said grimly. Serving. He promised them immortality. The name hung heavy between them. Lyra whispered, the hunger spreads again. Then we stop him, Ethan said. Darius looked at him like he was crazy. Kid, he commands half the fleets in orbit. You'd need an army. Lyra turned toward Ethan. He doesn't need an army. He is one. Before he could ask what she meant, the ring flared bright. The air around them trembled. Broken glass lifted from the ground and floated like dust in sunlight. Runes appeared on every surface, glowing with life. Darius took a step back. What's happening? The Crown Protocol, Lyra said. The ring recognizes danger and awakens its host. Pain shot through Ethan's veins. He doubled over, light burning under his skin. "Make it stop. Breathe," she ordered. "Don't fight it. Let it see you." The pain faded into warmth. He lifted his head, and his eyes glowed the same gold as hers. Symbols hovered in the air, forming a map of the galaxy, dozens of points pulsing red. Ethan stared. "These are worlds?" "Worlds still loyal to Aurelia," she said. "They've been waiting for the signal of the air. And now they know," Darius whispered. "You just told the whole universe their king is back." Sirens wailed in the distance. Lyra's expression turned sharp. "Then we must reach the relay tower before the regent intercepts the signal." Ethan looked at her, the ring glowing between them. "You're sure about this?" Her voice softened. "The galaxy doesn't need a king, Ethan. It needs hope. And that's something only humans ever gave us." He took a deep breath and nodded. "Then let's give it to them." The three of them turned toward the shattered skyline, where storm clouds burned red with approaching ships. Lightning flashed through the mist, reflecting off the broken crowns of statues long forgotten. The air had awakened. The hunt had begun. The storm rolled across the city like living fire. Lightning clawed at the skyline as three figures ran through the ruins. Ethan Cole, the lost heir; Lyra, his sworn guardian; and Agent Darius Holt, the only Terran who knew what hunted them. Above, dark ships moved between clouds, their engines humming like thunder. "The relay tower's ahead," Darius shouted over the wind. "If we reach it, you can send your signal off-world." "And if we don't?" Ethan asked. Lyra glanced at the glowing horizon. "Then the regent finds us first." They reached the base of the tower, a jagged spire of old steel mixed with golden Aurelian metal. Its surface pulsed faintly, answering the light of Ethan's ring. He stared upward. "You said this thing can connect every world that once followed Aurelia. What if it does more?" "It won't obey the regent," Lyra said. "It only answers royal blood." "That's what I'm afraid of," Ethan muttered inside. The tower felt half alive. Cables pulsed like veins, humming in rhythm with his heartbeat. Darius moved ahead, scanning for traps. No guards yet. Maybe A blast of red light tore through the wall. The shockwave threw them across the floor. Smoke filled the air. When it cleared, a tall figure stepped through the breech armor, black as shadow, eyes burning crimson. "The regent." So the coffee boy found his crown, he said, voice smooth and deep. "I expected more." Ethan rose slowly, dust falling from his jacket. "Guess royalty's not what it used to be." The regent smiled. "You wear the ring, but don't understand it. Do you know what it really is?" Lyra moved between them. "Don't listen to him." He ignored her. "That band on your hand isn't a symbol of hope. It's a prison. A lock forged by the first kings to contain the light of Aurelia. You think it chose you? No, human. It needs you, because only mortal hearts can bleed enough to open it again." Ethan's breath caught. "You're lying." "Am I?" The regent raised his hand, revealing an identical ring, dark and cracked. "Mine broke when I took the throne. Yours is whole." Together they awaken what even gods feared. Lyra's eyes widened. "He means to merge the rings. If he succeeds, he'll control the light itself." The regent spread his arms. "Help me, boy. Rule beside me. You are human, and your kind always crave order. Give me the ring, and I'll spare your world." Ethan shook his head. "I don't want your throne. I want my life back." "Then you die a commoner," the regent said, and the air exploded with energy. Lyra moved first, blades of light forming in her hands. Darius fired his pulse rifle, bolts cutting through smoke. The regent blocked every shot, his armor drinking the light. He swung once, and the floor split apart. Ethan rolled aside, landing near the central console. Sparks flew. The ring on his finger pulsed, reacting to the tower's core. Words appeared on the interface, ancient runes glowing gold. Activate crown link? He looked back. Lyra was on one knee, blood at her lips. Do it, she gasped. Now. Ethan slammed his hand onto the console. The tower roared. Light shot upward through the roof, piercing the storm. Across the city, every screen flickered the symbol of Aurelia shining on all of them. The regent screamed, "You fool! You've woken the beacon. Every loyal world will hear it, and so will the darkness beyond." "I'd rather wake the galaxy than let you rule it," Ethan said. Energy surged between the two rings. The regent lunged, seizing Ethan's wrist. Power crackled. Pain burned through both of them. Lyra forced herself up, her own blood glowing gold. She shouted words older than language and thrust her blade through the regent's chest. He roared not in pain, but fury. "You can't kill what's eternal." Ethan's ring blazed brighter. "Then I'll unmake you." The rings collided. White light swallowed everything. When the glow faded, the regent was gone. Dust scattered across the floor. The tower trembled. Half the machinery melted. Darius lowered his weapon slowly. "Tell me that was enough." Lyra looked at Ethan. "You destroyed his body, but not his shadow. He'll return unless the light is sealed." Ethan stared at the ring. Its glow softer now. "And that means?" "You must ascend," she said quietly. "Become what the crown remembers." He laughed once, hollow. "I can barely handle a coffee order, and you want me to handle a universe?" Her smile was gentle. "You don't lead by power, Ethan. You lead by heart. That's what the light seeks." Outside, the storm began to clear. The beam from the tower reached the stars, scattering into 1,000 sparks across the sky. Lyra turned toward it. Every Aurelian world saw that signal. "They'll come for you, now some to follow, some to kill." Darius stepped forward. "Then we'd better move before the next wave arrives." Ethan looked once more at the ring. "So this is destiny, huh? A tired guy with a magic ring, a warrior barista, and a spy chasing ghosts." Years passed. The wars ended. The skies cleared, and the world learned to breathe again. The city of Nova, once filled with smoke and fear, now shimmered beneath twin suns. Its towers no longer reached for power, but for peace. And at the heart of it all stood the crown spire, rebuilt from the ruins where the last heir vanished. Children played under banners marked with 2 intertwined rings, one gold, one silver. The people called them the symbols of light and blood, a reminder that even the darkest hearts could learn to shine. Commander Darius Holt stood on the balcony of the spire, gray now streaking his hair. He still wore his Terran uniform, though the medals no longer mattered. He looked toward the stars, a faint smile tugging at his face. 5 years, he murmured, and still no trace of them. Behind him, a young technician barely 20 approached. "Sir, the sensors picked up another resonance in the outer colonies. Same frequency as the royal beacon." Darius turned, interest flickering in his tired eyes. "The same one?" The technician nodded. It lasted only a second, like someone whispered through the signal. "What did it say?" The young man hesitated, almost embarrassed. "It said, 'Wake up.'" Darius exhaled slowly, the way a man does when a memory cuts too deep. He looked out again at the horizon, where the dawn glowed pale gold. "Still looking out for us, huh, kid?" Lyra met his gaze. "No, this is only the beginning." The tower hummed softly behind them as they disappeared into the fading storm. High above, the shattered clouds formed a ring of light around the moon, as if the universe itself was watching the air it had just awakened. The city slept under a false calm. Rain whispered on the broken towers of Nova, washing away the smoke of battle. But deep beneath the streets, in the silent ruins where old machines hummed faintly, something still stirred, the echo of the Regent's last breath. Ethan Cole stood near the balcony of an old control tower, staring at the dawn. The ring on his finger had stopped glowing, but it still pulsed softly like a heartbeat that wasn't his own. The beam they had sent to the stars now shimmered faintly on the horizon, fading into the clouds. Darius approached, holding a datapad, signals still active. Dozens of worlds have already responded. The message spread faster than light, like the old networks remembered your voice. Ethan didn't turn. And the Regent? Darius hesitated. No body, but we picked up fragments of his code inside the Terran systems. He's not gone. He's learning to live as data. Ethan exhaled slowly. A ghost in the wires. That ghost ruled galaxies once, Darius said. If he infects the network, he won't need an army. He'll rewrite every mind he touches. Lyra entered then, her steps silent. Her pale gold eyes carried both power and fatigue. The light can stop him, she said quietly, but not while it's trapped inside the ring. Ethan faced her. You said if I release it, I'd lose everything, she nodded. Yes, the light isn't meant to stay in flesh. It must be freed, or it consumes its host. So I die either way? Not die, she said gently. Ascend, your body ends. But your essence becomes part of the Aurelia net, the living energy that keeps the balance. He laughed bitterly. I was a mechanic. I just wanted coffee. And now you want me to become a constellation? Lyra stepped closer, her expression soft. You were never ordinary, Ethan. Humanity never is. That's why the crown waited for one of you. He looked away, the stormlight flickering across his face. If I go through with this, what happens to you? Her voice faltered. When the bond completes, my duty ends. I'll fade with it. Fade? Guardians don't outlive their kings, she said simply. We were born from the same light. We return to it together. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Ethan whispered, No, not like this. Before she could answer, Darius shouted from the console. Incoming transmission. It's him. The screens flickered. The Regent's face appeared in static half machine, half shadow. His voice echoed through the tower, warped and cold. You can't kill the dark, boy. It lives wherever light forgets to look. Lyra raised her blade. He's in the system. The lights dimmed. Machines around them came alive, drones rising, turrets activating. The Regent's image expanded across every wall. You think yourself a savior? You're just a spark in the wind. Give me the ring, and I'll let your world live long enough to worship me. Ethan clenched his fist. You talk too much. The ring flared, and machines froze. For a moment, time itself trembled. Lyra looked at him, her voice low. He's trying to merge again. The only way to stop him is to open the light now. Ethan stared at his hand. The ring's glow climbed up his arm like fire. The air turned gold and white. If I do this, there's no coming back. Lyra stepped close, her hand on his chest. You asked for coffee that morning. You wanted to wake up. Maybe this is what waking up truly means. He met her eyes. Then I'll see you on the other side. She smiled a small human smile. You already do. Ethan raised his hand. The ring shone like a miniature sun. The energy surged outward, filling the tower, flooding every circuit. The Regent screamed through the speakers, his voice twisting into static. No, you'll burn everything. Maybe, Ethan said, but I'll burn clean. The world turned white. When the light faded, the tower was silent. The air was warm, peaceful. Darius opened his eyes first. The machines were dead completely blank, wiped clean. The city below glowed faintly, as if bathed in starlight. Ethan? He called. No answer. Only a soft hum filled the air. Then he saw it golden particles drifting like dust, forming a faint outline near the console. A voice spoke, quiet and calm. "I'm still here." Lyra smiled through her tears. He did it. The figure of light turned toward her. "Lyra, I know," she said softly. "It's time." She stepped closer. Her body began to shimmer, breaking apart into tiny sparks. She touched his light with hers, and for a moment, both forms merged, gold and white swirling together. Darius looked away, feeling like an intruder on something sacred. When he turned back, they were gone. Only the ring remained, resting on the console, dim, cool, and quiet. He picked it up, holding it to the dawn. "You two better have saved us," he whispered Dot outside. The first rays of sunlight broke through the clouds. Across the galaxy, old Aurelian systems came back online. Worlds long forgotten glowed with the symbol of the crown, no longer a mark of rule, but of unity. And far above, among the stars, a new constellation appeared. Two lights intertwined, one gold, one white. The people named it the Guardian, and the King Dot, it became a legend told for centuries, of a human who carried the light and a warrior who guarded it, of love that transcended duty, and of a destiny born not from power, but from compassion. And somewhere beyond that light, a familiar voice whispered across the endless sky calm, human and at peace. "I just wanted coffee and found forever." Far beyond Nova, in the emptiness between stars, light drifted soft and alive. It pulsed like a heartbeat. From that light, two shapes formed, faint outlines of a man and a woman. Ethan Cole and Lyra walked across the starlit sea that stretched endlessly before them. They were no longer bound by flesh, yet their forms still carried warmth and memory. Ethan looked around in wonder. "So, this is what comes after?" Lyra's voice was gentle. "After or before? Time doesn't matter here." He smiled faintly. "I thought being made of light would feel less human." Her laugh echoed softly. "Humanity was never your weakness, Ethan. It was your crown." He reached for her hand. Their light mingled, creating a golden trail behind them like falling stars. "Do you ever miss it?" he asked. "The noise, the rain, the smell of coffee?" "Sometimes," she said. "But when someone brews their first cup on Nova, the scent reaches even here. It's how the universe remembers small things." He chuckled. "Figures. I save galaxies, and coffee's still my legacy." "You saved more than galaxies," she said softly. "You saved the meaning of choice." They walked in silence for a while, passing through clusters of distant stars. Every spark that glowed around them carried fragments of lives reborn, children laughing, lovers meeting, new worlds awakening. Ethan stopped. Ahead of them, a vast shape shimmered, a doorway of pure energy, its edges flowing like light on water. Within it, he saw flashes of humanity, cities rebuilding, ships launching, the people of Aurelia and Terra working side by side. "Is that them?" he asked quietly. Lyra nodded. "The next age. The light always returns where it is needed most." He turned to her. "Then what happens to us?" Her smile was calm, eternal. "We stay until they no longer need to be afraid of the dark." Ethan grinned. "So, forever?" She looked up at the endless stars. "Forever sounds short when you share it." He laughed softly. "You really were the better half of this partnership." "Maybe," she said. "But you were the heart." Back on Nova, night fell again. The citizens gathered beneath the twin moons to celebrate Day of Union, the festival that marked the moment light, and humanity became one. Lanterns floated into the sky, thousands of small suns rising together. Children pointed upward as two stars blinked brighter than the rest. "Look!" One shouted. the guardian and the king. The stars glowed a little warmer, as if smiling down, and far beyond, in that quiet space between galaxies, Ethan's voice drifted through the Cosmosoft, amused. Endlessly human. Guess I got my refill after all. The light of two souls crossed the heavens once more, leaving behind a whisper that would echo through every generation that followed. Even the smallest act of kindness can awaken the destiny of worlds.